Donald Igwebuike sets up the football to prepare to kick off to start this second half. And it's Joe Green and Chris Cook on their own goal line for North Carolina State. Igwebuike comes forward. High short kick for him. And it's Green from the 8-yard line. Green's got good running room, but a nice adjustment. Initially by Kevin Brady, who's been a very valuable asset to that special teams crew for the Clemson Tigers. Brings him down. Ball placement at the 30-yard line. Take a look at the quarterbacks in this ball game. 11 of 16 for Epley, 9 out of 14 for Espinoza. Esposito hands off to Fitz Evans. Evans gets back to the line of scrimmage. Esposito's been doing a very fine job in leading this ball club, Tim.
Well, I don't think you could ask for much more out of either quarterback. That time, State tried to threaten the corner, which is the way they opened up the ball game, but Henry Walls that time pursued nicely, came up, made the play.
McIntosh, being shaken up slightly in the first half, has not come into the starting unit. Esposito. Intercepted by Henry Walls. Walls with one man in front of him. Goes to the outside, and that one man drags him down. Walls gets caught by tight end Jeff Brown, but the Clemson Tigers now get the turnover they need. Beautiful rush by Michael Perry.
And Esposito would like to have this one back. Clemson's just sitting back in a zone. He tries to thread it in between the zone, but there you see the interception. 55, Henry Walls.
Second interception of the year, Kim McQuilkin, setting up the football at the 33-yard line. Stacy Driver opens up a tailback with Carter at fullback. Butler and Rulak are the wideouts. Mike Epley hands to Driver. Driver cutting in beautifully off tackle, cuts back out. Can he hold his feet? No, he's down at the 20, and a penalty flag goes down. As number 20, John McRory, the strong safety, was in on the tackle.
Well, this flag's got to be against North Carolina State. No one else near the ball for Clemson. It is a personal foul. But what a great run by Stacy Driver. Out of the I formation, Henry Carter leading the way. His instincts take him outside. Look at the cut right there in the hole. And then another cut outside. Here comes Rulak in to throw a block, helping him out. Just a fine individual effort by Driver.
Clemson can get a first down and not a touchdown as the ball is resting just outside the 10-yard line. Ray Williams to the near side. It's Boyer. The wide out to the left.
Hard to believe Driver has only 4 carries in this ball game.
Driver, big hole, and he makes it to the 5-yard line. Driver can explode to that line of scrimmage very quickly, and Steve Reese, with a good block, gives Driver his 25th yard in 5 carries.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of Driver in the second half. There's Reese on the trap block coming from his left guard position. He's the one that sprung him open. They're down to the 5-yard line.
Cheatham driving forward from the right guard, and Reese coming back on the trap to help out on the blocking. 2nd and 5. Driver again. Look at him squirm his way down inside the 3 to the 2-yard line. Don Heron finally putting a stop. That time he went behind Cheatham all the way.
Well, it didn't look like much, but Cheatham and Ellis, the right side of the Clemson line, got off the ball. They're down to the 2-yard line now.
The left guard,
Jeff
Reese.
Cruz in there for Ellis.
Steve Reese, the highest grade of any lineman so far. 94% throughout this season. So let's see if they go behind the left guard on a 3rd and 2. Sweep to the right. Stacy Driver, touchdown. The young man from Griffin, Georgia, takes it in behind a Cheatham block once again. Oh, what a hole.
Well, Henry Carter throws the key block here from the fullback position. He's going to get a piece, just a piece of Bobby Crumpler, number 24. Here you see Cheatham on the trap block. That's a fine block also. Look at, he's actually taking 2 people out on this play. Great position by Cheatham. Cutting behind him is Driver. Big hole, touchdown Clemson.
Took Jones and Teague right out of the play. And a player down on the field as Clemson reestablishes the lead. Igwebuike to try the extra point now as Clemson with a 3-point 27-24 lead. 12:42 remaining here in the third quarter. Scott Williams will be the snapper as usual. Peretti the holder. Igwebuike gets a good high arch on the kick, and it's good. Here in the third, Clemson recaptures the lead. Clemson 28, North Carolina State 24. And so for the fourth turnover in the ball game, we see another result in points being put on the board off of the turnovers. After every turnover in this ball game, a touchdown has been scored by the team that gains possession of the ball. Stacy Driver's 2-yard run, making it 28-24. Igwebuike for the leading Tigers kicks off high and short. This is runnable. Joe Green from the goal line. Once again, I believe it's Brady. Anthony Johnson. And Kevin Brady in on the special team stop. Well, he's so valuable, I'm not sure you can take him off special teams when he gets older.
Well, in the first half, we saw Mike Epley throw an interception, but come back from that interception to take his team to a touchdown. It's up to Tim Esposito now to overcome the mistake he made on the last drive and get his team moving again.
Esposito 9 of 14. Fumble on the play. Was he down already? Let's check it. Clemson recovers the ball at the 10-yard line. Michael Perry with terrific pursuit and hard-hitting ability that time. As the contact was made, Jeff Wells made the tackle.
Michael Perry just decided he was going to make a play in the backfield. They're trying to block him, but he goes right through the block.
Evans the fumble.
Runs into Vince Evans in the backfield. Jeff Wells, the left end, falling on that ball.
And so Clemson, another turnover in a short period of time here in the third quarter. Driver and Flowers, the throw set. And Flowers almost got loose there at the 6-yard line. Pat Teague caught him on the ankles and wouldn't let go from Raleigh, North Carolina. Once again, we have the situation, Kim, off this play that they could get a first down and not a touchdown.
Oh, and look at the leg drive there by Kenny Flowers.
Ball is on the 6-yard line, a second down. Williams, the lone wide receiver to the far side. Flowers near the goal line before he stopped. This will be interesting to see if they've got enough for a first down.
Well, he may have the first down.
Geathers and Green combining for the stop on Flowers. Good leg drive here once again.
Out of the I formation, Epley's reading that end, gives the ball to the fullback, and look at Flowers down inside the 1-yard line. Good surge by the right side of the Clemson line.
We might have a measurement now. They're calling for the chains. Clemson taking advantage of a turnover by North Carolina State to start the second half, recapturing the 28-24 lead. Now a fumble deep in Wolfpack territory has set up this situation. First and goal with just inches to go for a touchdown. Kim, I wonder if any research has been done on the effectiveness of not quite getting the first down inside the 10, but to have this advantage of being able to get a first down at the goal line.
Well, of course, the closer you get to that goal line, the harder those first downs come. Clemson's in a great situation here with 4 to go.
Epley, I don't think, got in. 2 tight ends, Dunn and Riggs, in the ball game with Cruz, Cheatham, Swing, Reese, Engel, and offensive front. Everybody was looking for the quarterback sneak, but you got 4 tries at it here. Rulak coming into the ball game, bringing a play in possibly. He's replacing the wingback, Quick.
That'll be interesting to see if they decide to just give it to Driver over the top. That seems to be a favorite play down in this area of the field. There's Stacy back in the eye right now.
Flowers the fullback on the second and goal. Driver takes to the air. Coach McQuirkin called it all the way.
I love to make those calls inside the 1, Art.
Gives you a lot of options, doesn't it? Take a look.
Well, Kenny Flowers, the fullback, is leading the way. There you see a block in the backfield, and the key to this is driver turns his shoulders as he hits the goal line. That doesn't give that. What that does is it enables the linebacker, prevents the linebacker from getting a clean shot at him.
We'll check it out again after this extra point attempt by Igwebuike. It is up, and it is good, and Igwebuike just keeps building on that scoring lead for this ball club. Clemson 35-24. Let's take another look.
What the linebackers do is try to time their hit at the goal line. They leave their feet as well. So what driver does is he turns his shoulders. That makes a difficult target for the linebacker. There you see Mark Franklin colliding with him on the goal line, but the thrust that driver had and the turning of his body enabled him to get into the end zone.
And you're working with a fairly short linebacker, 5'9" Mark Franklin. With the score, Clemson 35, North Carolina State 24. So the fumble at the 10-yard line set up 4-play drive. Going 10 yards, capped off by Stacy's drivers fly through the air for 1 yard. They had the ball only 1 minute and 39 seconds after their last score, and Clemson has taken a 9-point lead. 5 turnovers, 5 touchdowns in this ball game. Clemson 3 touchdowns, North Carolina State 2. Igwebuike setting things up, Kim.
Well, I was going to say on the state sideline right now, Art, they are stunned. They played a great first half, and they've come out here in the first 5 minutes, actually less than 5 minutes of the third quarter, and they've fallen behind by 14 points.
He missed the kick, really, and still was a good one as Chris Cook decides not to run it out. The Wolfpack takes over at their own 20-yard line. 10:41 remaining third quarter. Clemson striking fast and striking hard after Wolfpack turnovers. And the crowd is also quiet. It's not only the sideline. They are hushed. Penalty flag goes in the air and looks like a procedural call.
North Carolina State just can't seem to get on track in the second half. Throughout this season, and it's been a 3-4 season for State, they have fallen behind early in games but come roaring back in the second half. It remains to be seen whether they can do that here against Clemson.
A junior from Wise, North Carolina, Joe Green, is now a tailback spot. He led the runners in the University of Ohio University victory with 122 yards. He has 336 yards on the season and 2 touchdowns and 62 carries. So we've got the new tailback, Joe Green. It's obvious to us that Joe McIntosh is injured. He has not played here in the second half yet. 1st and 15. Green gets caught behind the line of scrimmage by Jeff Wells, the senior from Rome, Georgia, using his quickness. 3-year letterman.
Well, here we see it from behind the quarterback. He's going to give it to his tailback. That's Joe Green. No running room. Look at Wells being blocked, but still pursuing the ball carrier.
2nd down and 13. The offense for the Tigers. Let's see if it's jacked up the defense any. Esposito, oh, he's collapsed upon. Esposito didn't stand a chance. Michael Perry came in from one direction. Jeff Wells from the other. Steve Berlin was also back there to help out. Time to meet at the quarterback, Kim.
Well, Clemson is sitting back in his own. They did not blitz on this play. This is simply pressure from that front defensive line. Look at, they're back there before Esposito even has time to get set.
Key there, Berlin took 2 blockers up the middle with him.
Well, they'll play, you're right, Art, they'll play little games up front, and one time a designated lineman will try to take 2 offensive linemen with him to free up one of his teammates.
They'll probably have their ears pinned back now in a passing down. 3rd and 20. Rolling out away from that rush. Esposito overthrows his man and is almost picked off that time. Intended for Brothers. And the punt team comes in. Reggie Pleasant just couldn't quite get his hands on it, Kim.
Well, here you see Esposito letting the ball go. His shoulders were square to the line of scrimmage, but look at the crowd of Clemson defenders around. That was a tough pass to try to thread in there. Clemson playing tightly in the secondary.
Okay, the punter into the ball game. Martin Newson. And Marty hangs one high. Pleasant calls for the fair catch at his 48. Good field position. Martin Newson averages 36.8. He's been trying to get better distance on his punts. Actually had a much better average coming out of high school than he's been able to show so far this year. That's his first punt of the ball game for 42 yards. Hatcher's only punted once, and that was a 34-yarder. But the Clemson Tigers take over for their third time.
And the third time they've had excellent field position in this half.
Kind of odd to say this is their worst field position from their own 48. Rulak drops the ball. Nice defensive play to harass the situation by Dwayne Green, the free safety.
Epley's going to sprint to his left. He's got both backs protecting him. He's got all day to throw the ball. Either had the hook man in the middle of the field or Rulak down the sideline. The ball a little behind him, but catchable. Epley found the hole in the zone, but Rulak just wasn't able to hang on to the ball.
You don't see Terrence miss that many that are that close. 35-24, Clemson leading, wanting more points on the board with 9:10 remaining third quarter, and we've got a jump offside that time by Cruz and Westman.
Illegal procedure penalty against Clemson.
And so it'll be 2nd and 15 after they march this one off.
And there you see the right guard, Westman.
The junior from Jacksonville, Florida. We try to point out their blocks as much as possible because it's unfortunate when something like that happens. The whole stadium knows who did the wrong thing. But we, of course, try to bring you as many blocks as possible to show you what those guys up front do on the positive side.
There's Wes, 6'5", 250.
From the 43. Griffin has nowhere to run. Frank Bush, an outstanding outside linebacker, makes the tackle. The 3-year starter is 218 pounds. He only played one season up near the front of the line in high school and came in as a freshman and quickly learned.
Well, that was a big play. He had Kenny Flowers blocking on him that time, shed the blocker, made the tackle in the backfield. Clemson now are 3rd and 18.
A straight drop. Here's the pressure. The great athletic ability of Epley is going long for K.D. Dunn. It's a battle for the football. Dwayne Green. And that's Butler making the tackle. And another penalty flag. K.D. Dunn came in maybe a little bit late. Let's double check the replay and see if we can see it.
We're going to see Mike Epley show good escapability, but after scrambling around, he throws this one up for grabs just deep down the middle of the field. He underthrows, and Dwayne Green comes up with a ball. That was K.D. Dunn he was going for. And look at the running ability here showed by Green.
Nice tackle.
And here comes K.D. Dunn. A little too late. That's going to be 15 more yards against Clemson.
Needless penalty in a crucial situation. 62 yards have been marched off against the Tigers in 7 penalties in this ball game. So let's see if the next turnover might put points on the board. 35-24, Clemson leads with 8:21 remaining third quarter. Esposito, the quarterback, puts his man in motion. That's Phil Brothers. Goes back looking for Brothers over the middle. Overshoots him, tipped up into the air, and no one can get to it. It was kept by Anthony Johnson. He was looking for Brothers all the way on that one. 9 out of 17 passes, 1 interception, 151 yards for Esposito in this ball game.
And at one point he was 9 of 12, so the last 5 have been incomplete. He seems to have lost his touch, at least temporarily. That time in the play-action pass, he had the receiver open, just overthrew the ball.
Esposito only 1 touchdown pass away from a season record. 2nd and 10 from the 40. Hands off to his tailback. Green fighting his way, gets good yardage. As Steve Berlin trying to hang him out, couldn't quite bring him down.
Out of the I formation, it's to Green, number 25, the tailback, breaking a couple of tackles.
Joe Green getting his playing time here in the third quarter. It's 3rd and 4 for the Wolfpack. Brothers in the slot to the near side. Hand off to Green. Big hole this time. Green, he's speedy. And the young man gets to the 20-yard line. Good block from that fullback, Kim, as Perry Williams has to make the tackle.
Well, you're right. Ricky Isom, number 33. Look at the block. He's blocking Craig Crawford at the line of scrimmage. And that gives Green plenty of running room downfield. North Carolina State that time running on 3rd and 5. I think they crossed Clemson up. Clemson looking for pass.
Green has been outstanding in the short time he's played. Bobbles the ball back, looks for a pass though, and it's into the end zone. Touchdown!
Unbelievable.
Evans to Wortham. Perry Williams was right there, but they had a step on him, and Vince Evans from the tailback spot, number 44.
Well, you talk about a fake. If you ever wanted to draw a defense up, how about pitching the ball to your tailback, having him drop the ball on the ground? He just throws the ball up, and look at this. Wortham's underneath it in the end zone.
So we continue a string of every turnover leading to a touchdown eventually. Coffer ready to try the extra point. Brothers will be holding the snap. It's up, and it is good. North Carolina State shakes the silence in this stadium and brings feet. With the score, Clemson 35, North Carolina State 31. We'll be back. So Vince Evans caps this great drive, usually known for catching passes. He's a converted fullback, if you can believe it. Takes the bouncing fumble, picks it up, and throws for the touchdown. A 19-yard pass from Evans to Wortham. And that drive taking 1 minute, 12 seconds. 5 plays going 40 yards after the turnover. Clemson by 4 as Williams goes back into the end zone. He fumbled the ball. He'll still sit on it there. And Clemson takes over at their 20. I expected one team to maybe set a trend here in the second half after that back and forth first half, but it doesn't look like either team's willing to do that. They're not going to let the other team take away with anything.
And listen to the State fans.
They finally woke up, and with good reason. But they're Wolfpack down by 4. Clemson taking over at the 20. There's been good sustained drives in this game as well. Steve Griffin, the tailback, with Carter at full. 7:09 remaining in the quarter. Carter fumbles. I think Clemson got back, though. Lineman up front. It might have been Griffin that fell on the football.
Well, you really can't take your eyes off this ball. It's been bouncing around so much today. Kenny Flowers gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. The ball pops away. That's Steve Reese, the left guard, falling on it. That would have been a big turnover.
Very, very alert play by Reese at the 20-yard line. So it's 2nd and 10. Charleston to the near side. Boyer goes to the far side. Dunn is in a wingback spot. Epley fumbles the football. Well, he won't get that one back, I don't think. Jeff Cruz was back there. They'll have to unpile to determine who has possession. What happens down in those scrums?
Well, I'll tell you, that time North Carolina State got penetration. Clemson trying to run the option play. One of those defensive linemen broke free and hit Epley's legs as he was trying to pitch the ball.
Watch number 54. I think he's the one that hopped on the football.
And they're going to give the ball to Clemson. Here we see it late. There's Epley down on the ground. Look at this scramble. Ray Phillips looks like he was in there, but just the right tackle fell on the ball for Clemson. But they've got a 3rd and 15, Art.
And the stadium erupts. Epley hands to Griffin. And that'll bring in the punt team with Hatcher. Mark Franklin with a fine tackle.
And apparently North Carolina State will get the ball back in excellent field position.
Dale Hatcher, 2nd in the nation in net punting, 43.3 yards. He's going to need every bit of that. He might need his longest punt of 55 in this situation. Hatcher steps into it, a high floater, and it's Geathers. Calls for the fair catch at the 48-yard line. So you're right, the Wolfpack with good field position. No run back available, though. Let's take a look at the scoring. Driver, a 1-yard run. Coffer with a field goal. McIntosh. And then Griffin. Jeffries catching the 32-yard reception, and Franklin the interception. Epley the run, Driver a 2-yard run. Driver a 3-yarder and Worthen a 19-yard reception from the tailback. Esposito gets it away this time, complete at the 45, up to the 40 and near the first down stake at the 38-yard line. Jemas making the tackle.
And this is a nice call on first down, a possession-type pass. He's going to fake to his tailback. He's got his tight end, Jeff Brown, just running out in the flat. He's going to dump the ball to him. And that's good positive yardage on first down. Look at Brown getting upfield.
Second down, 1 yard to go from the 39, they mark it. Brothers comes to the near side, number 19. Second and 1. They might go long. Esposito looks short. Now he goes long. A penalty flag go down, and Brothers gets the ball tipped up into the air by Reggie Pleasant. Nice defensive move, and Esposito hit the deck hard, but it's a holding call. William Perry came just bursting through.
Well, that time Coach Ekman was right on the spot. You called it long. They tried to go to Brothers. They sent him down on a hook pattern. Esposito faked the ball. Brothers went deep. But you're right, NC State's holding.
Jeff Brown was open over the middle, but Esposito wanted that long one badly.
Second and 1, they felt they had a waist down.
35-31, Clemson. Close ball game with 4:21 remaining third quarter. Check out the replay.
All right, here's Esposito with the pump fake in the pocket. There you see the holding on William Perry. He actually hit Esposito as the ball was being let go. Brothers had to try to come back, just knocking the ball down, preventing the interception.
Illegal use of hands, 5-yard penalty. Second down and 7 now. That's Evans. Evans in the ball carrier gets the first down. Great effort.
What a great effort indeed.
Reggie Pleasant making the tackle on him. I'll tell you, the Wolfpack, they want this football game, and they're working hard for it.
Well, here's Vince Evans going over his left side. There's one tackle he breaks. There's another tackle he runs through. Here's another tackle he almost gets away from.
Evans still a tailback. Isom, that wonderful blocker at fullback. He's yet to catch a pass, and even though he's an excellent pass receiver, Esposito on the roll. He's going to tuck it under and makes it out of bounds before getting crunched. Eldridge Milton was on the chase along with Jeff Wells.
And Esposito showing us a dimension he's not necessarily known for. The rollout that time, he's got the option to run or pass. Threatening the corner, he got downfield for good positive yardage.
Last week setting 6 individual school passing records, and he's climbing up that career ladder for North Carolina State. He's got a 2nd and 6 at the 29 now for the Wolfpack. They need a touchdown to take the lead, not a field goal. Look out, Perry's on the run. Michael Perry, does he get Esposito? Esposito dumps it off very alertly. It was intended for Chris Cook.
Well, Epley really took a shot from Henry Walls just as he let the ball go. Here you're going to see Walls, number 55. He's pursuing down the line of scrimmage as Epley rolls out. And just about got to Esposito. Certainly caused him to unload the ball. North Carolina State now 3rd and 6, Art.
Esposito also very careful, I think, not to make a costly mistake.
Good play by the quarterback.
3 minutes, 46 seconds remaining, third quarter. Clemson by 4. And it's 3rd and 6 for Esposito. Dumps it off. Nice play to Evans. Does he have some running room? Nice tackle by Berlin coming from behind. It is not a first down. So it'll be a 4th down situation. The ball placement at the 25-yard line. What a tackle by Berlin.
Well, this is an exceptional play by Berlin. There you see Berlin in the middle. He reads screen. He immediately starts pursuing. Evans has all kinds of running room if he gets by Berlin. But just great pursuit that time from the defensive tackle.
So Coffer's in to try the field goal. His longest is a 52-yarder. He kicked long his freshman year, had tendonitis later on, and has come back to be a very strong kicker. It's going to be a 42-yard attempt. It's up. It's long enough. It is good. So the Wolfpack on a 4th down at least capitalize with some points and draw to within 1 point of the Clemson Tigers. No, it's a tied game. Let's correct it. The scoreboard was wrong as it flipped by. It's still 1 point lead by the Clemson Tigers. Gophers' 42-yard field goal, capping 5-play drive and 23 yards. The Clemson defense doing a good job, and a couple of penalties hanging on as well. So North Carolina State drawing to within 1 point. Clemson 35-34. The Tiger offense cannot afford mistakes right now. It's a bullet going to Rulak, and he lets it go through. So they'll take over 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, the Clemson Tigers. 3 minutes, 1 second remaining. Now, even though those points weren't the direct result of a turnover, don't forget that it was a turnover that put Clemson deep. And they had to punt out to give good field position for North Carolina State. So indirectly, a turnover helped with getting 3 more points on the board there for the Wolfpack. Flagler and Flowers, the backfield. Epley, short drop. And a nice catch by Richard Butler. Butler with a touchdown reception in this game in the first half of play. Geathers makes the stop as we check out some yardage comparisons now. Epley looking over the situation. Passing yards in this game, 152 for Clemson. That's the same they had at halftime. That doesn't sound right. Cut behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a yard is Terrence Flagler. It's unusual for Flagler, who's averaging 6.7 yards a carry. Phillips and Bush combined for the tackle. They're going right at the strength of North Carolina State on that play.
Well, Ray Phillips would not be denied on that play. Did not give an inch. Bottled the play up right at the line of scrimmage. Clemson's got a very important 3rd and 5 here.
Most points scored in this series, 69 points. Epley, lots of time, but we've got a penalty. Maybe that's the reason. Not quite intercepted. And that's the gentleman with the broken hands, and it looks like that Nelson Jones came down on those hands, and he'll be coming out of the ballgame. You notice he's got them all taped up.
Well, I'm sure that's the reason he didn't make the interception. They were playing man-to-man in the North Carolina State secondary. Here we see Epley straight back in the pocket. There's a holding penalty in there somewhere.
Looked like 63 Reese, maybe.
But look at this, right in his hands. Just can't hang on to him. He's got those bandaged hands. Look, as you can see, he's hurt.
Hatcher comes into the game after 2 punts, averaging 35 yards a kick. We mentioned this is the most points scored in this matchup with North Carolina State and Clemson in the series history. The old record was 67 points back in 1982.
You know, Art, it really makes you wonder about the depth of State having to play someone in the secondary with 2 broken hands.
Hatcher gets it away, and Geathers fair catches the ball back at the 38-yard line. Now Hatcher took some time, but he got all of it. Nice punt.
Here is Hatcher. Good extension. Coming close that time, laying out was John McRory. But State's got the ball back in good field position.
Esposito faking the handoff. Dumps it off. And look at there. That's Isom. Ricky Isom came into this game the 2nd leading pass catcher on the ball club out of the fullback position.
Well, he's from Harrisburg John Harris High School. He's got a lot of relatives playing football at major college institutions all over the country. North Carolina State has done a great job of possession-type passes on 1st down, dumping the ball off, letting the backs, the tight ends run with it.
1st and 10. Fitz Evans. Good solid tackle by Pleasant.
They've really got Clemson off balance now, Art.
Good variety of plays by the offense. You can't let the Wolfpack offense have the football if you want to beat the Wolfpacks. You got to play on their injury-riddled defense. Archie is spread to the far side as Esposito hands back to Evans. Evans running into a group, slides off nicely. He's got a nice lame leg in a situation like that. And he makes a few yards out of a play that looked like was well covered. Ken Brown is credited with the hit.
Well, they tried a misdirection play that time. Evans taking a false step to his right. They gave him the ball back to his left, but Kenny Brown stayed at home, made the play that time.
Jeffries and Brothers go to the far side. Watch them on a 2nd and 7. Isom, the fullback. Joe Green, the tailback, gets the football. Henry Walls trying to catch it from behind, but then the secondary man had to come up and make the tackle all the way to the 10-yard line. Ronald Watson, number 31, finally gets up top to make the tackle on Joe Green.
Well, Clemson is really off balance. Esposito that time, after he handed the ball off, set up like pass. You get the feeling the Clemson defense was all spread out thinking pass. Kenny Green just goes right up the middle for big yardage.
1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Esposito, the short drop. Brothers intercepted. What a break for Clemson. Reggie Pleasant, who has had a tremendous ball game. Not only one-on-one tackles for Reggie Pleasant, but also, as you see here, a costly turnover for the Wolfpack.
Well, Tim Esposito tries something that's pretty hard to do. He tried to look right, then come back and throw left down on the goal line. Consequently, he doesn't see Reggie Pleasant. He's trying to go to Brothers, and that's why the interception came about.
Pleasant around the football once again. "36 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter. Flagler and Flowers, the running backs, in the eye. That's Flagler. A nice cut for good yardage on a 1st and 10.
You know, you just wonder when one team is going to quit out there, but here North Carolina State has had the momentum for the better part of the last 10 minutes. Clemson comes back out, and on their first play, the line's firing out. They get great yardage on 1st down.
The tailbacks, very similar statistics. Flagler, 8 carries, 33 yards. Griffin, 9 carries, 39 yards. And Driver, 7 carries for 30 yards. 2nd down, 7 yards to go for a Tiger 1st down. And they're going to let the clock run out. So that's the end of the 3rd quarter of an exciting football game at Carter Finley Stadium here in Raleigh. With the score, 35, North Carolina State 34. Clemson with a 2nd down and 7 from their 27 to begin the 4th quarter. Flagler once again. Not quite to the 1st down marker. Sandy Key makes the stop in that nose guard position along with Doug Heron. And so it'll be a very important 3rd and 1. Rulak brings the play in from the bench.
There's Coach Tom Reed.
What do you go with here? Option?
I think you got to go to your tailback. They've got 2 tight ends in the game.
Flagler, he got the 1st down out of the grasp of a tackler and struggles to the 34-yard line. Dwayne Green finally gets credit for the tackle, but you know, it looked like Flagler was going to get caught sooner.
Well, he's got Kenny Flowers in front of him. There's the block by Flowers. Good individual effort by Flagler. Dwayne Green finally making the stop. Very important 1st down for Clemson.
It was Singletary, Reggie Singletary, a 2-year veteran who had the hands on Flagler but couldn't get quite the edge. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. This is an important series for the Clemson offense to keep it away simply from North Carolina State's offense. Pat Teague makes a great tackle on Terrence Flagler. Flagler trying to get tricky there.
Well, what's interesting, Clemson kept 2 tight ends in the ball game on 1st down, hoping to run the ball. But look at Teague in the backfield, gets Flagler for the loss.
Flagler misreading Reese's block, actually. Reese was trying to take him to the outside with the angle. Now, you didn't see in that replay if there was something else coming up that made Flagler go to the outside. 2nd down, a loss of 2, so we got 2nd and 12. Ray Williams in motion. This one looks like it's coming right down to the wire. That's Boyer. And he slips and falls, getting back to the original line of scrimmage, trying to cut on Gethers.
Well, Ray Williams went downfield and threw at Gethers' feet. Gethers leaped over him to come up and make the play on Boyer.
So it's Butler and Rulak Going to the far side with Rulak in the slot. Stacy Driver is in a tailback. Flowers at fullback as Epley looks over to Rulak. Rulak's got it, but he doesn't have the first down. He's rolled out of bounds 2 yards shy by John McRory. McRory doing a fine job that time in maintaining a 1-on-1 situation with a very speedy Terrence Rulak. Nevertheless, it'll give Hatcher some punting room right now. He's kicked 3 times for 36 yards average, and he's had to get the ball away quickly. Let's see what happens now. Gathers is dropping back to his 17-yard line as Hatcher needs a good one for Clemson. And he sails one. This one will go to the end zone. Beautiful punt.
Well, you're talking about a 57-yard punt in a very clutch situation.
So when we get back, North Carolina State takes over at their 20-yard line with Clemson 35, North Carolina State 34. We'll be back in a moment. Benny Pegram was injured on that play and trying to rush the punter, but he came off under his own power. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for the Wolfpack. Trailing by a point, 9:46 remaining in the game. That's Evans. Met at the line, but bounces off. You can't arm tackle this guy, and he makes good yardage. First down over the 30 to the 32. Tyrone Davis is credited with the hit.
Well, out of the I formation, Evans going over right tackle. Doesn't look like there's anything there, but he runs out of the arms of John Jansen. Gets upfield. Evans now has 50 yards on 10 carries. There we go.
Evans once again. Good blocking, especially on that corner. And close to another first down. Reggie Pleasant finally making the tackle. Chris Cook on that outside threw a very nice block on the corner, number 6.
Well, you've got to admire this North Carolina State team. They've got their top running back out of the game, but they keep coming back at you.
Evans having to come in, got 2 touchdowns against Furman. We mentioned he filled in for McIntosh during the injury. This time Henry Walls hits him high. Evans could not go anywhere, as I think it was Michael Perry that hit him low. But it might be good enough for the first down. No, it is not.
Well, you're going to see a brick wall here, otherwise known as the Clemson defensive line. There's Henry Walls sitting right in the hole, did not budge an inch. And
Walls
State does not pick up the first down.
Gives the Wolfpack a 3rd and inches to go for a first down. Everybody crunched in. They go to the tailback who flies through the air. Close, but I think he got it. And it was number 32 on the roster. That's Mike Miller. Mike Miller, a senior, flies through the air.
Here's the full house backfield. The double team at the line of scrimmage. They're blocking on Terrence Mack, the bandit, who was up in the hole. Just enough surge there by State for the first down.
They're on their 43-yard line. So they've gotten themselves out of a hole. Esposito to pass. Good coverage. Penalty flag will be holding, and it goes off the hands, almost intercepted, intended for Jeffries. Very, very close on the play. And once again, the name Mike Isaacs comes into play.
Well, here you see Esposito. He's got time, but good coverage in the Clemson secondary. He wanted Jeffries at tight end. Having to scramble now, that's when the holding occurs. Finally throwing behind Jeffries, and lucky there wasn't an interception.
You know, with the new rules allowing actual grabbing within the body plane, it's usually when the rollout occurs or time is taken where the blocker's trying to hold on out of that.
Right, once they're out of position is when they
the holding play.
start grabbing on outside the plane.
But it takes endurance and good quickness on the defensive lineman's point to try to create that happening.
Well,
make it happen.
1st and 20 yards. I think the Clemson defense might be thinking draw or screen here.
Once again, it goes to Green, and Green out of the tailback spot makes a few yards before Chucky Richardson comes in to make the tackle. So on the 1st and 20, now it's 2nd down, and about 14 to go for the first down.
Look at the arms on Malinicek.
Well, he's a good one, all right. 6'5", 285 pounds. They rely on him heavily. Good pass blocker, too. Second down, make it 14. Esposito's back, and he gets crunched down by the Bandit Terrence Mack. Whistle had blown. 4th sack of the year for Mack. And the 4th tackle for loss. Michael Perry going up to the officials saying, hey, they're holding on to me.
Well, we mentioned Terrence Mack, the Bandit. He is the rover, otherwise known as the Bandit in the Clemson secondary. Look at on the blitz that time, he's all over Esposito. They've got a 3rd and 23 now. Tough position for the quarterback.
The defense really doing a job for the Tigers here, trying to hold on to a 1-point lead with 6:38 remaining, 4th quarter. Esposito fakes, has the reverse.
He's got running room.
Jeffries is fast. But what a play by Henry Walls. The linebacker not only adjusting well, but using his quickness. We saw him toughen, fill in a hole in this series, and we see the other advantage of Henry Walls, his fine range.
Well, as this play developed, it looked to me like State was going to have a lot of running room down the sideline. Henry Walls stayed at home, however. Look at the speed for a linebacker. And he makes a big play for Clemson. State's going to kick.
Jeffries, a big play receiver, just didn't have the speed for Walls. Reggie Pleasant calling for the fair catch at the 24. Martinez in the putter, getting a nice floater away, but Clemson got what they want, that football back. Pause now for a word from your local station. Clemson with a 1-point lead, 4:48 remaining. They go to the fullback Flowers. He gets to the 50-yard line, a good 5 yards on the first down play. Pat Teague makes the tackle in the inside linebacker spot. Second down, 5 from midfield. .414 remaining. Stacy Driver again slides close to the first down. He'll be a yard shy before Reggie Singletary from his defensive tackle spot makes the tackle. Came into the game number 3 on the team in tackles with 55. And that was after really not starting at the beginning of the season.
Clemson doing exactly what they set out to do in this drive. Keep the ball on the ground, but move the ball. We're down to 3:43 now. This is a big 3rd and 1.
Third and 1 with 3:35 remaining. Driver, the call, cuts in, got the first down to the 41-yard line. Pat Teague once again the tackle, but not before some good progress.
Well, Stacy Driver knew what he had to do on this play. As soon as he got the pitch, he's going to make one cut right there, put his head down, and go for that first down yardage.
Driver, the leading rusher on this team, 11 carries now in this ball game for 69 yards. Also leading rusher in this game for the Tigers. This drive started from the 25. It's been a good ball possession drive. We mentioned before the drive started that they needed to give their defense a rest with the ending moments in this ball game coming up. Stacy Driver falls forward for a gain of about 3 yards on the play.
North Carolina State's got to feel a bit helpless right now on the sidelines. They've moved the ball very well today, scored 34 points.
Each team with 3 timeouts left.
But that time is running down, 2:45 now and moving.
Clemson by a point. Second down, 8 yards to go from the 39. Each down becomes more and more important now. Driver. Look at him pull his way for a little guy as he gets inside the 35-yard line and makes it a fairly good situation with the third down coming up, Kim.
Well, Clemson is doing a lot of trapping at the line of scrimmage. Here we're going to see the left guard, Steve Reese. Look at him come across and trap the defensive tackle, that's Singletary, and that's the block that opened the hole for Driver.
3rd and 3 at the 34. Clemson would like to at least get a field goal out of this drive if they can. So that if the Wolfpack should get the ball back, they'd have to go for a touchdown. Or Driver stopped. Singletary this time. That's called going to the well.
Well, you win some, you lose some. This time, Singletary, who was blocked on the last play, comes through with a big play for State on defense. The toss sweep to Driver. There you see Singletary. Nobody on him that time. He broke free.
Clemson wants to talk it over right now. They've called a timeout with the score. Clemson 30, North Carolina State 34. 1:39 remaining. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. Clemson has decided to punt. Leading by a point, 1:39 remaining. It was North Carolina State that was charged with the timeout. They have 2 left. Hatcher puts it high. Hopefully they want to trap the ball before it goes into the end zone. Bounces on the 1. Taken down there by number 49. So downing the ball for the Tigers is Craig Crawford. And Hatcher does his job for the 7th time this year, putting it inside the 20-yard line.
Well, apparently the decision has paid off for Danny Ford. He could have attempted what would have been a 51-yard field goal. That's within his kicker's range, but with a 1-point lead, I'm sure he didn't want a chance having a block kick near midfield. He decides to go with Hatcher, who kicks what is known as a pooch kick and lays it down inside the 5-yard line of NC State. They've got a long way to go, Art.
It's on the 4-yard line, and with 1:30 left in the ball game. Esposito back into his own end zone. Gets a big rush. Gets the ball away finally, and a penalty flag goes down. Let's wait a minute now. They're going to call it on Clemson.
I think they're going to call it on Esposito on intentional grounding. We saw William Perry jumping around. At first we thought maybe the call went against him.
When he was in on the tackle, I thought maybe they'd have called it on him, but he was so outrageous about it.
Now, wait a second. Let's see here. There's Esposito in the end zone. He's got plenty of time to throw the ball, just no one open. Look at this. He wasn't out of the end zone, but there certainly is some question as to who he was throwing the ball to.
I'm surprised Perry didn't take out that goal post. He hit it. 1:23 remaining.
Well, we're going to have a little huddle.
It'll be 2nd and 10, maybe. Yes, 2nd and 10, incompleted pass.
Well, they're going to rule no penalty.
So maybe Perry was disgusted that it wasn't. 2nd and 10 now at the 4-yard line with 1:23 on the clock. A 4-man rush by Clemson. Esposito saying, come on back to me, guys. Ooh. Almost intercepted that time, and a great play by Danforth and Watson combined to help out. Watson gets up off the turf as Danforth went for the ball.
Well, when you're throwing against a prevent defense, which is what Clemson is playing right now, and you're waving people into the middle of the field, that's a very dangerous place to throw the football, especially after telegraphing it. NC State's going to have to come up with something a bit more creative than that if they're going to get the ball out of the hole here.
They trail by 1 point, but now it's 3rd and 10 with 1:17 remaining. Esposito stepping up in the pocket, gets it to Jeffries. And Jeffries is met very, very hard by Anthony Johnson.
Well, asked them to be a bit more creative. That's exactly what they did. Esposito comes back here with a real gutsy pass, stepping up into the pocket. Haywood Jeffries is going to make the reception. We're out here in the end zone camera. There's Jeffries. What he did was he came back to the ball in a crowd. That allowed Esposito to get the first down.
Brothers in the slot to the near side. Jeffries the wide out from the 21-yard line. They still have a long way to go. Brothers now puts them in good field position with a timeout with 1 minute remaining. Terrence Mack making the tackle. The Wolfpack finally getting out of the hole, and now they're moving the ball.
Well, I like the way Esposito throws this ball on the run, but I like the way the North Carolina State coaching staff has its wide receivers coming back to the ball. That time, Phil Brothers was in a crowd, but the fact that he came back towards his quarterback allowed that reception.
It's going down to the wire. 49 seconds on the clock. Evans tries the middle of the line, and he's met there by William Perry. Big hit for William. There's been some phenomenal drama in this football game. Big turnovers leading to scores, and the highest scoring game in the history of these two teams. I should qualify the highest scoring game between these two teams against each other. 35-34, but the Wolfpack, they won a victory. Esposito dumps it off, and it's knocked into the air, high into the air by Jeff Wells. who had his hands on that football.
Well, on first down, this is the same kind of possession-type pass that has helped NC State score 34 points this afternoon. That time they wanted to go to Jeff Brown, the tight end. He was open, but the ball batted down at the line of scrimmage.
37 seconds left. A 3rd and 7. This team, one pass can get them out of trouble. Big 3rd down at the 47. Esposito moving out. Michael Perry on the rush. Esposito cutting back in, and Michael Perry from behind continues the pursuit. Timeout is called with 28 seconds on the clock. Tom Reed on the sideline pacing. His team with 28 seconds on the clock. No timeouts left. Trailing by a point. And a big 4th and 7 from the 46-yard line. Esposito goes back. He's on the roll. He's going to run for it. He does not make it. The Tigers have held. Eldridge Milton coming off an injury to play in this football game. He missed the Duke game with an ankle injury. Gets the hit on Esposito.
Well, and too bad for Tim Esposito. He's played a whale of a game against a tough Clemson defense. Here's the sprint out to his left. It almost looks like he's running all the way. He's got that ball tucked underneath him. There was man-to-man coverage out there, but look at the pursuit. Kenny Danforth, Eldridge Milton for Clemson coming up to make the stop.
21 seconds left as the Wolfpack fans now head toward the exits.
Well, and there's some
but anything can happen in a football game. We've seen the ball bounce around in this game in various ways. I don't know as I'd leave my seat if I had the choice.
Well, we saw the frustration of Tim Esposito as he came off the field there. Clemson's just going to fall on the ball.
No timeouts for North Carolina State, as we mentioned.
That should do it.
And Clemson has won this ball game. Coming up.
They're definitely shaking hands.
We probably have a couple of choices for player of the game. I think Reggie Pleasant was very good. I think Steve Reese was outstanding in that guard spot. As the horn sounds for a great ball game here at Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina. The final score, Clemson 35, North Carolina State 34.